In this lesson, we are going to learn three things. We call them the elements of English language. First is the do verb. Second is has to or have to. Doesn't have to, don't have to. Third, the adverbs of frequency. These are heavy words, don't worry about that. We look at how to use them in our everyday life. So before you do anything, I want you to take a printout of the attachment called the worksheet. That's the attachment here on this site. Take a printout. Stop this video now. Take a printout, then we'll start. Okay, are you ready? Now let's look at the first key point, the do verb. We'll now look at some vocabulary first. So I want you to go to pre-learning task 1. Found that? Okay. There you will have to match the columns. So you have the columns marked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They are the words, and the columns which are marked A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H are the pictures. Let's do the first one. In the first cell, you have the word anchor person. Who's an anchor person? The person you see on the TV, for example, the person who's reading the news on television is the anchor person. It may be an anchor man, pronounced as anchorman, or the anchor woman. Now we have just one word, anchor person, no anchorman or anchor woman. And look at the photographs. Obviously, number C is the anchor woman. So the lady is sitting in a television studio. So let's map 1 to C. That'll be 1C. Now work out the rest. You don't need more than 2 minutes to draw the lines. So we'll meet after 2 minutes. Finish the task first. Stop the video now. Right, I hope you have done that. Now let's listen to an audio. You have exercise 1 in your handout, the worksheet. There will be about 10 sentences, A to J. You have to mark them true or false. First, you listen to that dialogue, the audio, and then mark the sentences true or false as you listen. Okay? We'll do the first one. Nina works in an airline. Is that true or false? Let's listen to the audio first.
Hello, I'm Joe.
Hi Joe, I'm Nina. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Nina. What do you do?
I work in an airline.
So, she says that she works in an airline. So obviously, the first sentence is true. Now finish the others, the other 9, and we'll come back.
Hello, I'm Joe.
Hi Joe, I'm Nina. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Nina. What do you do?
I work in an airline.
Oh, really? Are you a flight attendant?
No, I'm not. Actually, I'm a pilot. I fly the Boeing 747. What about you?
I'm an anchor person. I work for BBC. I read the 9 o'clock news.
That's a great job. People on TV wear really nice clothes. What do you wear to work?
A formal suit. I always wear a tie too.
And what does your brother Job do?
He's an engineer.
Oh, really? Does he work in a factory?
No, he doesn't. He's an electronics engineer. He works in an office.
Who's the man in the uniform?
That's my cousin Amma. He's in the Navy.
And who's the person in overalls?
That's my brother Samir. He's an automobile engineer. He works for Toyota. He has to wear overalls to work.
Now, done. So, we'll give you 1 minute to check the answers that you've written. Okay? And these are the answers. Now, do you think Nina and Joe are friends? How do you know? Think about that. Write it down. Preferably speak it. Now, I want you to tell me, what clothes do you wear for different occasions, like the birthdays, your birthday, or when you go to a birthday party, or what you wear to work, to school, at home, when you go to the market. For instance, I'll tell you. On my birthday, I wear casual clothes, new clothes obviously. And when I go to somebody's birthday party, I wear casual clothes. If they request, then I wear formal clothes. For example, some people want a tie, so I wear a tie. And when I go to work, obviously I have to wear a formal suit. In summers, I don't wear a tie or a coat. In winters, I do. At home, I just wear pajamas. That's all. In summers, I also wear shorts and a t-shirt. And when I go to the market, again, very casual dress, t-shirt and jeans maybe. And sometimes I wear slippers called flip-flops. What about you? What do you wear? Discuss this with your friends. Right. Now let's go to exercise 2 in your handout, that worksheet. I want you to fill in those blanks A to D with do or does. So let's look at the first one. It says, what blank Jake blank. So obviously the question will be, what does Jake do? So you write does after what and do after Jake in the second blank. All right? Finish the whole thing. I'll give you 60 seconds starting now. Right, welcome back. Now let's go to the second key point. This is all about has to, have to. Now what does it mean? When you want to talk about something that is compulsory, mandatory, then you say has to. I have to finish this class today. Otherwise I won't get my salary. I don't have a salary. Okay, so you use have to or has to for things that, like I said, are compulsory. So I have to wake up at 6 o'clock or I will miss my bus. Okay, I have to, you have to, they have to, we have to. But he has to, she has to, it has to. So I'll say she has to go to the doctor today because she's feeling very bad. Has to, compulsory. Otherwise she'll have a problem. Now, it means you don't have any option. So I have to wake up at 6 o'clock. I can't say, all right, it's okay if I wake up at 7. No, it isn't. But if you have an option, like I say, I can wake up at 6 o'clock or at 7 o'clock or at 8 o'clock. It's fine. So I say, I don't have to wake up at 6. I don't have to. I can also wake up at 7. So I don't have to wear a tie to work. Obviously, I can go with an open collar. I can show my neck. I don't have to wear a tie. Now, I don't have to, you don't have to, we don't have to, they don't have to. But he doesn't have to, she doesn't have to, it doesn't have to. Great. So that way I'll say she doesn't have to travel by bus because she can go by the company cab or the company car. The company sends her a car, she can go in that, she doesn't have to go by the bus. So go to the pre-learning task 2 now in the worksheet. And I want you to complete it. There are blanks from 1 to 8. There are questions from 1 to 8 and there are blanks in that, and I want you to fill in those blanks with has to or have to, the way we just discussed. So after you finish this, check the answer. So now pause the video, complete the task. After completing the task, turn on the video. Okay, you done? Great. So the answers are like this. See that? Great. Check them out. 8 of them. Have you made any mistakes? If you have made any mistakes, do let me know. All right. Send me the answers. Okay. Now, I want you to go to exercise 3. You have a table with 4 names in the left column: Lata, Mona, Samir's mother, and Rick. And the central or the middle columns blank. You have lots of cells over there. And the right column, you have some things they do. They are the tasks. So, like the first task with Lata is work on weekends. Second task is get to work by 7 o'clock. Third task is drive to work. So, what you have to do is listen to the audio and say whether Lata has to or doesn't have to do these tasks. Fill in the blank cells for Lata, Mona, Sami's mother, and Rick. Let's play the audio. Speaker 1.
Lata is a journalist. She writes articles for the Times of India. She has to work on weekends. Her office is really far. She has to get to work by 7, but she doesn't have to drive. She goes by the company cab.
Speaker 2.
Mona is a homemaker. She doesn't work outside but has to work mornings, evenings, and nights. She has to get up early, cook breakfast, send the children to school, cook lunch, clean the house, and go shopping for vegetables.
Speaker 3.
Samir's mom is a librarian. She works for the public library. The library opens at 9 and it's quite close to her house, so she doesn't have to leave home very early. She leaves by 9:30. Also, she doesn't have to stay till the evening. There's a librarian for the evening shift.
Speaker 4.
Rick is a chef. He works for the Taj. He cooks Indian food. He doesn't have to wear a uniform, but he has to wear a cap to cover his hair and also a mask and gloves.
So done? These are the answers that you have on the screen. Now what I want you to do is tell me 5 things you have to do in your life today as it is, and 5 things you don't have to do. For instance, now I have to go to the class to teach my students, but I don't have to wear a uniform. My students also don't have to wear a uniform. You tell me 5 things about your life. All right? Okay. So now we come to the third key point. See, we are doing this quickly because your participation is with you now. I'm not able to see you, we can't interact, but we will interact if you can send me your audio or your writing. Okay? So the third key point is the adverbs of frequency. Okay, so it means how many times you do something or how many times something happens. Once, twice, thrice, or 4 times, 5 times, 10 times, 100 times, whatever. That's the frequency. What are the words? There are words on that. So the question for this is how often? So I can say like, how often do you go to the market? And I say, I always go to the market. There's nobody else to go because I stay alone. How often do you play tennis? I usually play tennis and I also play cricket. Sometimes, rarely. So, frequency, how often? Now, the common adverbs of frequency are these. There are lots others, lots and lots of them in the English language. But don't worry, we start with these. As we proceed over the levels, we'll be able to get a better grip. Let's start with these, okay? Now, don't forget this. Note it down if you want. Right. So, before we go to the pre-learning task 3, let's discuss 3 words. Do, play, go. When do you say you do something? For instance, I'll say, I do my homework. I don't say I go my homework. I don't say I play my homework, not make my homework. None of the words. It's only do. Not write my homework, not read my homework. I do my homework. So it's an activity that you do. So any job, I do my homework, I do a course. If I'm an actor, if I'm an actor, I'll say I do a movie. At home, I do the cleaning. My wife does the cooking. Okay, and we also talk about do for games that you play with without a ball. So I say I do karate because karate doesn't have a game, doesn't have a ball. So you don't say I play karate, I do karate, or I do wrestling. For play, obviously you play a game, there is a competition, maybe two people or more than two people, two teams, and normally there's a use of a ball, like badminton, squash, tennis, whatever. Badminton is not a ball, it's a shuttlecock, but there you are, still something that you toss. And so you play badminton, you play cricket, you play football, and so on. Go, you say go for any activity that ends in ing. So I say I go swimming, I go fishing, I go shopping, etc. Okay, now let's look at the pre-learning task 3. We'll fill in those 8 blanks, not we, you. And I'll give you, 3 minutes? I think 2 minutes is good enough. Take 2 minutes, not more. So fill in these blanks with do, play, or go. All right? All right, are you through? So these are the answers. There you go. Play, does, goes, does, go, play, does, go. Now, if you got them right, so we'll go on to the audio bit. And right, so we have the exercise 4 in that worksheet. I want you to read those questions first. How often does Nina go to her friends? Friends means friend's house. What does Nina always wear to work? Does Nina usually wear jeans at home? What does Jay generally do in his free time? And how often does Jay go cycling? These are the 5 questions. Now let's listen to the audio.
What do you do in your free time, Nina?
Well, Jay, I have to stay in office till 8 o'clock, so my free time is only the weekends. Then I get up late in the morning. I never have breakfast before 11. After that, I read the newspaper, watch TV, and generally spend my time lazing around. In the evenings, I go to some friend's house and we eat out.
I know you always wear a business suit for work, but what do you wear at home?
I usually wear jeans and a shirt or a sweater. And what do you do in your free time?
Oh, I generally visit my friends or go to the mall with them. We watch a movie and lunch out. Sometimes I go swimming or cycling as well. In fact, in winters, they often go on long drives.
How often do you go cycling?
Well, not very often.
And these are the answers. Great. What I want you to do now is list 5 things that you do in your free time. You also have to say how often you do them. For instance, I can say, I often go for a walk in the nearby park during my free time. Sometimes I go to the field where children play football and I watch them play football. Quite often I go on a long drive with my wife. Delhi is a beautiful city. You can go on long drives here as well. So what about you? Record it, discuss it with your friends. So that's it now. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.